Imagine if Jon Stewart suddenly became president of the United States and then had to lead the nation through a full-scale invasion. That's basically what happened in Ukraine. Volodymyr Zelensky, a man best known for cracking jokes on stage, is now remembered for defying one of the world's most powerful armies. But how did a class clown turn into a global leader? And how much money did he make along the way? Today we'll dive into Zelensky's journey, his wealth, and even a few stories that prove he's never completely lost his sense of humor. Born in 1978 in Kryvyi Rih, a gritty industrial city in Ukraine, Zelensky had a sharp wit early on. He actually studied law, but clearly found punchlines more appealing than legal briefs. In his late teens, he joined the legendary Soviet comedy competition KVN, where student troops battled it out with sketches and improv. Zelensky's group was so good that they toured internationally, including in Moscow, where crowds roared at his high-energy performances. Think of it as American Idol meets Whose Line Is It Anyway, but with Boris and Natasha. By 2003, Zelensky co-founded Kvartal 95 studio, named after his old neighborhood. The studio quickly became a powerhouse, producing movies, TV shows, and comedy concerts across Ukraine and beyond. He didn't just star in the shows, he owned the rights, meaning the real money came from production deals and syndication. One of his most famous running gags? Mocking Ukrainian politicians, ironically. Sometimes so brutally that audiences joked that Zelensky should run for president himself. Talk about some foreshadowing. Zelensky's humor wasn't just clever, it was fearless. In one sketch, he dressed as a classical pianist and played the piano, with his pants down. Let's just say his performance was memorable in ways that Mozart never intended. Audiences roared, and the clip went viral before viral clips were even a thing. He also voiced the Ukrainian version of Paddington Bear. Yes, the cuddly children's character who loves marmalade sandwiches. Years later, the internet had a field day comparing Paddington Bear Zelensky to wartime Zelensky. Not many world leaders can say that they've been both a teddy bear and a tank commander. Even during election season, he leaned on humor. His campaign ads looked more like comedy skits than political spots, poking fun at oligarchs and out-of-touch elites. It was like if Saturday Night launched a candidate and then the candidate actually won. Then came Servant of the People. Zelensky played a high school teacher whose viral rant against corruption propelled him to the presidency. The show was such a hit that Zelensky actually ran for president in 2019. His campaign slogan should have been, "Hey, you already liked me as president on TV, why not in real life?" And it worked. He won in a landslide with 73% of the vote. Life didn't just imitate art, it copied the script word for word. So let's talk a little bit about the money. Zelensky isn't an oligarch or a billionaire, despite rumors. Most reliable estimates put his net worth right around $20 million. Where did it come from? His Kvartal 95 studio contracts and intellectual property rights, film salaries, including the Love in the Big City trilogy, and endorsements and live tours. In 2018, he declared assets of roughly 37 million hryvnia, or about $1.5 million. By the time of his presidency, his production empire had grown, and with international syndication deals, his overall worth climbed into the tens of millions. No shady privatizations, no oil fields, just years of selling laughter, which might be the best business model ever if you think about it. Of course, there's a twist. In 2021, Pandora Papers revealed that Zelensky and his partners owned offshore companies in the British Virgin Islands and Cyprus, some even linked to expensive London properties. Zelensky claimed it was to protect media rights from political corruption in Ukraine, and before taking office, he transferred some shares to a close ally. But critics ask the obvious: how can an anti-corruption candidate hold secret offshore accounts? Even Paddington Bear gave a hard stare at that one. When Russia invaded in 2022, Zelensky's wealth became the last thing on anyone's mind. He refused evacuation offers with his now famous line, "I need ammunition, not a ride." The comedian who once played a fake president on TV was suddenly inspiring the world as a real one. And maybe his years of improv prepared him, because nothing says improv like running a country in a war. From a law school dropout to a stand-up star, from piano player to Paddington Bear, from sitcom actor to statesman, Volodymyr Zelensky's life is the ultimate plot twist. His $20 million fortune was built not on corruption, but on creativity. And yet, his greatest wealth isn't money. it's the global respect that he commands by standing tall when it mattered most. So what do you think? Can a comedian make a better president than a career politician, or should we all be a little worried if Will Ferrell decides to run in 2028? Thanks for watching, hit that like and subscribe, and drop your favorite Zelensky moment in the comments. And remember, sometimes the best leaders start with a joke.